Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Inga Cotton. I'm the founder and executive director of San Antonio Charter Moms, and today we're featuring the Premier High Schools network, but specifically our guest today is Gustavo Escobar, and he is the campus director of Premier High School San Antonio Ingram, which is the one on the northwest side of San Antonio. So Gustavo, I'm really thankful to have you on Charter Moms Chat so that people can learn more about what you do at Premier High Schools, like what kind of students you serve.
Well, thank you very much, Ms. Collin, for inviting me. I know we had to reschedule, but I'm excited to be here and present a little bit and show off Premier High Schools here in our campus. We are located in the west side. What do we do? Our mission here is to provide hope for our students. Students, especially after pandemic, a lot of our students have had that social anxiety, and large public schools tend to be a little bit overwhelming. Our classroom size are 30-to-1 teacher ratio. We work with students who have fallen behind, maybe because of their anxiety. They couldn't go to school, medical problems, or in some cases, they just didn't want to go in class because maybe they didn't like the teacher, or they would get that anxiety going into that class. And unfortunately, they had the grades, but they didn't get the credits earned. Here at Premier High School, we make sure that our students are heard and come into school, and we'll work with them to ensure to they like school. Yeah, sometimes school can't be fun, but we work with our students, especially those who are at risk of falling behind. They can catch up, get ahead, caught up, and if they would like, they can go back to their public schools and be with their friends, graduate with their friends. But if they decide, we do have graduation here with us once a year. We have our own graduation ceremony, and there are students here that come in and finish school in 2 years or get caught up, and they want to go into college, military, or a trade school, wherever they choose to go.
Yeah, I think that's what's really important is like for families to know, and for students who are teenagers to know that just because that they're behind on credits, there
Mhm.
still is another track that can help them graduate, and that's what Premier offers. But I think a lot of people may not be aware that that's an option. Like the students just feel disconnected from education, and you guys can bring them back into the education system, but without
Mhm.
whatever obstacles they were facing back at their old campus.
Yes. We have several students. We several stories. For example, we had a student that her parents enrolled them into a homeschool program. It was not accredited, unfortunately, and she spent 3 years there, and then she wanted to apply for college, and she was 17 at that age. And so she told us her situation. It was like, okay, let's go ahead and try and see if we can get you caught up, graduated. And sure enough, she came motivated, uh, self-driven, and she came and finished high school in 2 years and a half, and now she's accepted into Texas A&M University. So it can happen, and it will happen. And here, I hire teachers that are willing to work with our students. Our students are not just a number. We know them by the first name and last name. I have sat down with every parent and told them what Premier High School is. I know every student by the first name and last name, and we're such a small school, but we're very family oriented. We want to ensure that our students are happy coming to school here.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's interesting. Like there's a couple points you brought up that remind me of conversations I've had recently with folks. So like, I know a counselor who works as a consultant with people who are trying to homeschool, and she tries to really caution people that there are a lot of, like you said, unaccredited programs that try to present themselves as homeschool support, but it's actually kind of a scam. And it's really unfortunate for the students because then they find out they're not where they thought they were. They've been lied to, and so like as a charter moms, like we really care about trust, and we're trying to present high quality programs so that students and families can get steered into programs that really will help them make progress.
Yes, ma'am. And here we try to motivate our students to, hey, college is not for everyone. We need students that can go to trade schools. We need people to work in electrician, plumbing, mechanics, students that want to join the military. We work with recruiters. We bring a lot of counselors from the universities, from Alamo colleges, to kind of present and help students out here. We're not just here to give you, here's your diploma, good job. I'll see you later. We want to ensure that our students have that path and are ready for the next step. And when we talk the next step, we are talking about what careers can they pursue and what is something they want to do, not just a job, a career.
Yeah. Well, I imagine that that makes a big difference for motivation. So, my kids are 13 and 15 now, and I know that the older they get, the more questions they have, and the more like they want to know, well, what is this for? What is this leading us to? And so, like for them, doing things like volunteering or having like after school activities or like having electives where they're like, okay, this is leading me towards this, right? And so it sounds like at Premier, like you're bringing in people from the outside, and they can kind of paint a picture for the students of like, okay, you put in the work now, and this is what it's leading you towards, and that's how they can find the motivation to overcome the obstacles that they face.
Yes, ma'am. We brought in even for members, employers who work with IT, and they share their story of how they made their way through IT, or dentists, or uh, nurses. They tell us their story of how they made it, where they went to school, or how did they started, things like that. So that way, some students can be may be relating to those situations. It's like, oh, I can do it. We have military guys that even said like, "Hey, I was about to drop out from high school because I started falling behind, and look where I'm at." So we need to kind of picture them and bring in those guest speakers that, hey, you're not the only one in this situation. We can turn things around and make it happen.
Yeah, yeah. Another thing you mentioned earlier that it reminded me of another conversation I had this morning. That like how large campuses are nowadays, and that it's very easy for students to feel lost. Like I remember, so my family moved to Texas when I went into 10th grade, and it was complete culture shock because I'd never I'd never been on a campus with that many students. Like, and I felt kind of lost, and like I mean I toughed it out, and I got my diploma, but um, I can see the risk, and I hear stories about students who feel like they might be struggling, they might be being bullied, and they feel like no one sees them and no one knows what their problems are, and the parents don't know who to reach out to, and so but at Premier it's a much smaller campus, and so like every student, and what kind of academic progress the students are making, so there's not a risk of them just falling through the cracks.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, I think that's a big component of here how why our students are successful, because there is accountability. Students know it's like, oh man, my teacher is going to notice I'm not here, and I'm not there tomorrow. So they know, and we do miss our kids. We want them to be here. We want them to be successful. We always tell our students, if you're here one day, we will make it happen. One day closer to graduation, or maybe to the 10th grade or 11th grade, or to the next grade level. So we're always excited to bring to have our students here. It brings us joy, and I always tell my teachers, we're teachers, and we want to ensure that we're teaching our kids, and ensuring that we're providing the best that we can for them.
Yeah, yeah. So now, okay, so it's years ago before the pandemic, I was able to visit a Premier High School campus. I remember one of the things that they described was that like the school day isn't necessarily the same as a school day like at a big comprehensive high school, but because that students are juggling other things in their life, right? They might be parents themselves, they might be doing elder care, or they might have like jobs that they're doing because maybe they're contributing to the financial support of their family. So how does that flexibility work for students? Like you want accountability, you want them to come and make progress, but you're trying to work around the other pieces of their lives.
Yes, ma'am. So maybe hopefully it was our school. I'm not trying to be biased with this comment, but I feel like Premier High School Ingram, we have the best staff and the best students in the state of Texas. So uh, you're more than welcome to stop by. If any parents would like to stop by and just check out the school in general, just to give us a call, we can make an appointment so they can come into the campus, especially during the summertime. We'll definitely can make that happen. But one of the things that we do here is to ensure our students have a flexible schedule. Same with parents. I know parents are always busy with work, or they have a graveyard shift, so they would like to sleep in a little. So for our freshmen, we have one schedule. It's from 8 o'clock until 2. We want to ensure our students, especially the freshmen, are on pace and kind of get the hang of it, of our premier system, and that they are not falling behind that first year, because we don't want them to be playing catch up throughout 4 years here at Premier High School. 10th, 11th, and 12th do have an option to come from 8 o'clock into 12, or 12:30 to 4:30. So during that time, a lot of our juniors or seniors would like to go to work or have a job, so that way they can be out there in the workforce. So we do have those options. Um, Maybe daycare, or some of the students who maybe parents, maybe they can't come in because they have daycare in the morning, and then in the afternoon they go pick them up. So we work with our students and our parents.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's like I think that's what like the common theme of what you're saying is like just having this level of understanding and compassion for the students, like understanding what their needs are, what is it going to take to help them keep progressing and have them feel like that they have relationships with the teachers so that they're invested, they're going to keep trying even if they feel like all students get frustrated sometimes, right?
Oh yeah, yes, yes, ma'am. And I always tell my students, communication is key. You feel frustrated, communicate to us. Let us know what's going on. We'll work. We'll work around your schedule. If you need to be out in the morning, but you can come in the afternoon, we'll make it work and see what we can do to make your life easier. We're not here to make stress or why you're not in school. We want to ensure that you keep on coming to school. But yeah, we're here and we're flexible, and again, we're here to work with our parents and students.
Yeah. So one thing I wanted to ask about, I was checking my notes. Um, so how do you kind of onboard a new student, right? Like you mentioned earlier, like folks can come and take a tour, and like I highly recommend that because like it's hard to picture like what the school looks like, right? Because there's so much self-paced work, so it might
Mhm.
look a little different than a typical campus, right? But
Yeah.
like what is that like onboarding like? Like I guess looking at a student like what courses that they studied before and maybe didn't get credit for. Um, yeah,
Yeah, so we create a graduation plan for our students, individual graduation plan, and we always want to know what the students, what is their goal after high school. So we create a graduation plan. We sit down and see what courses they would like to take. We do offer dual credit courses as well. We take the TSIs here, so if that's something they're interested in doing, then we'll make it happen. So they can come and tour the campus. If it's something they want to do, they can apply online through our website, Premier High School Ingram. Once they have submitted an application, we'll move them to the waiting list, and we'll go down the list with the students who have applied first. We'll give them a call, and like I mentioned before, I sit down with every parent and every student and let them know the expectations and ways students can be successful here at Premier High School. If they like what they see, and I always tell the parents, it's kind of like shopping. You want to shop for what is the best fitting school for your student. And sometimes some programs are not for everyone. So I always let the parents know if it's something that you think your student is capable of doing, then we'll offer you the seat, and then you'll do the registration, and then we'll let you know when your student will be able to start. It usually takes about a week.
that's really helpful. So a lot of the schools that we cover, like people who follow charter homes chats, like they know, like so a lot of charter schools have an open enrollment period and they have a lottery and but I think one thing about Premier High School, right, is that these situations where students need to change schools or when they have this realization of like, hey, I want to get serious about getting my diploma, that could happen at any time of year, right? So
Yes,
it's
yes.
not necessarily the same. Like I spend a lot of time with our typical audience talking about enrollment season, but that's not applicable here, right?
No, no, we're open enrollment. I mean, we're still accepting kids. I just had a few orientations this past week, and we'll continue doing it until district tells us otherwise. But there's never too late to apply for our to our school. And like I said, apply, and if we do have a waiting list, we'll let them know, and we'll kind of keep calling or notifying parents, letting them know where they are in the waiting list.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, that's it. I want folks to know, like, don't feel discouraged just because, like, it's like, oh, what's the enrollment timeline? Like, don't worry about it. Just call, ask the questions, and figure out what you can do. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, no, we are enrolled. Actually, our enrollment for the upcoming school year will be open sometime in May, and I highly encourage everyone to apply as soon as possible, or give us a call and ask. Maybe we can give you guys an update of in a specific date when that new enrollment will be open. But we work during the summer. I'm not sure how public schools do it with their secretaries in front office, but we'll be here all summer to answer any questions that parents may have.
Yeah. Well, no, since at SA Turner we work with lots of different districts, lots of different charter schools. Most schools take like at least a few weeks where the district is completely shut in the summer. It's different weeks at different districts, and so we have to be flexible. But yeah, but I mean, you're serving students who are in some ways like more mature than their peers, right? They're having to deal with more life challenges,
Yes.
and they don't get a break in the summer the way typical kids do. They're kind of being asked to grow up a little more quickly.
Yes, yes, yes. This is a lot of a lot of the students drive, a lot of the students willing to complete work, and again, the teachers are here to help out, not just in the course work uh, part, but also prepare them for the STAR test. A lot of our students come in and they probably never pass the STAR test. They come in and they'll sit and they have that one-on-one direct teaching with our students, and there's been several situations where we have students that said, "Wow, I passed my test for the first time." And I think we teachers are more the most excited ones, but it's a great feeling to see their successes.
Yeah, yeah. Well, so one of the questions I have is, okay, so you mentioned like, bringing in outside experts to like talk about careers and career paths. Are there ways that you talk to students about um, kind of life skills or like adulting, like how to do a job interview, things like that?
Yes, man. We do actually do. Throughout the year, we have this week where we do life skill stuff. Like we sit down and kind of give them like um, not in essence like money, but some type of currency, and we go table by table where they have to pay their electricity, have to pay rent, how to pay their car payments, uh, things like that that are basic needs throughout outside of school. So we do things like that to prepare them, and usually that comes in the junior, senior. Grade levels, and then of course in the junior, freshman and sophomore, we try to add a little bit some of that, but not as much as we do with our juniors and seniors.
Yeah, yeah. Just talking to other parents, like a lot of those of us say, like, wow. I mean, like we try to teach our kids about life skills, but sometimes it helps coming from a third party, someone who's not a parent.
Yeah.
But it just like, or then I talk to other adults who are like, man, why did I learn that in math class? I wish they had talked to me about, like how to budget for something, right? And that like those are just really important skills.
Yeah, and credit scores. We talk a lot to our students because
Oh,
we hear so many kids say, "Well, I can't wait until I move out of the house because my I don't like my parents' rules." And it's like, have you checked your credit score? So we always we do have some discussion about credit score and all that stuff about money and why credit score is important. Uh, with our freshmen, what we do a career cluster. We try to focus on the career. Some students just don't know what they want to do. Uh, so we do have a career cluster that gives them questions of what they like to do outside of school, what some hobbies they do, and then again at the final as the results, it lists careers of what would be a good fit for them.
yeah, yeah. Those are really important conversations, and if
Mhm.
they're talking about that as like freshman or sophomore, like that's going to help them be more focused about what they choose to pick for their courses for high school and get them, setting goals like, what they have to work towards.
Oh yes, yes. I always tell the students start thinking when you're in high school what you would like to do. That way, your junior or your senior year, we're already making those steps towards those goals and to those careers.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so I'm looking at my list. We've covered most of the questions I wanted to ask, but I guess one last thing. Were there things you had to adapt to during the pandemic? Are there sort of after effects of the pandemic that you're noticing? Like, were there students who maybe felt like Zoom school wasn't effective for them, and then now they're trying to kind of make up for that?
Yes, definitely. A lot of the students that we're getting were not used to the online stuff. We offer our curriculum online, but we still require our students to be coming into class. It's still an in-person school, but adapting, we were not too much of a virtual school, but we did adapt pretty fast. We had Chromebooks. We gave them to them, and then unfortunately, we weren't able to hand out packets hard copy books, but we moved everything online. It was very fairly smooth, and our campus director during that time made it very smooth for our students and parents. So we adapt pretty quick with it, and now having to come back to the same routines that we have in our traditional premier high school model, we were able to again adapt back to normality. So yeah. We do online courses for our students if they choose to work from Chromebooks. And if they like the old traditional way of working on books, we also offer that. I always tell parents we learn differently. Some students like online, some students like to do it in hard copy.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's yeah. Well, and the nice thing about the online, well, like having this curriculum that's already online meant that you could adapt to students working on their computer, and it also means that there's that like self-paced element to it, right? That if they really want to get ahead, they can get ahead. If they need extra support, they don't have to worry about falling behind their peers.
Yes, yes, ma'am. In a typical public school, they would have to wait until the end of the semester to earn those credits. Here at Premier High School, you can earn. I've seen some students who have completed their whole freshman year in 5 months, 6 months. So, and then they move on to the next grade level. We move into a different class. So, let's say, for example, a ninth grader finishes their freshman year. We move into the 10th grader, and we ask them, "Do you want to start having 4 hour sessions, leaving early at 12, or vice versa, coming in at 12:30 and leaving at 4:30?" So those freshmen are very self-driven. Same with every grade level. They want to move closer to the senior year, because when they are done with all the coursework and all the district requirements, then they're done. It's like, hey, I'll see you for graduation. So
Yeah.
yeah, while their friends are still trying to finish up in the public school.
That's right. That's right. They can feel really proud of what they've accomplished.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. We're proud of our students, and sometimes they tell us, "Well, thank you, sir, so much," or "Thank you, teacher, so much for helping me out." And we always tell them, "Hey, you did it. You're the one that came in. You sat down. You did the work. We helped along the way for any little bumps on the road, but most of the time, it's 90% on the students."
Yeah. So what is a graduation ceremony like? How does that feel for the students and their families?
Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing. I think it's very emotional for me. Just a little quick background. I'm first generation here in America. My parents don't know how to read and write, so I take education very. It's very important for me, and I have high standards for my students here at Premier High School. And every time they walk the stage, it's always going to be something different. It's always going to be a first gen student that graduated from high school. It's always going to be a student that is a parent. It's going to be a student that maybe they were told, hey, you weren't going to graduate this year or in a year, or you should just go get your GD. So we provide hope for our students. We provide that hope, and it really shows, and it it's what makes Premier High School teachers come back again next year, and let's do it again.
Yeah, yeah. Wow. Okay. Well, I want to make sure that we share. I've got my banners ready to show people contact info, like how to find the campus, and then maybe I'll give you a chance to offer some closing thoughts. But so okay, so there are multiple premier high school campuses. Actually, I went to the website. Like they're in all across Texas. There's in multiple states. But here in San Antonio, there's one on the east side, and then but you're at the one on the west side. So it's Premier High School San Antonio Ingram, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, we're located right on the frontage road of 410, and you have the address on there. And like I said, everyone's more than welcome to give us a phone call and ask just to tour. If you guys want to tour the campus, just give us a call before showing up. We do have to bus people in for safety protocols that was implemented this school year. Every person is buzzed in to our school. There's only one door, one way in, one way out. We do have emergency doors on the side, but yeah, give us a call. And we'll show you our school, the classrooms. Bring your students so they can check it out. And if you're interested in applying for Premier High School Ingram, more than welcome to. Okay, I always ensure it's Premier High School Ingram, like Ms. Cotton said. There is over 60 premiers in the state of Texas.
Yeah, and so and there's more information on the Premier website, and that's where students they can do an application. Well, they can do an application in person, but there's an online application through the website, right?
Yeah, yes. There's no more in-person applications.
Oh,
Everything's
okay.
done. Everything's done online now. Once the application is done, just to reinsure yourself if it went through and that you picked the correct premier high school, give us a call and ask, and give us the student's first name and last name, and we'll verify for you and let you know where they're at in the waiting list, or if it got done, and we can set up maybe an orientation and see if it's something that you're interested in, you and your student, and we'll get the process going to get them started here in our school.
Yeah. Okay. So for the folks who are listening on the podcast and can't see the banner on the screen, it's Premier San Antonio Ingram.com. But if you search for Premier San Antonio or Premier Ingram, it'll come up in your browser. And like Gustavo said, they're ready to answer questions. So you can call the campus and just say, hey, did my application come through? Or even if you want to visit before you apply, like he said, they can offer school tours. They just need to know you're coming so they can buzz you in because it's a secure campus.
Yes, 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 it is. We don't allow backpacks. We don't. There's hardly nothing that students have to bring. Just that motivation. We'll provide pencils, the curriculum, paper. We'll provide all that. There's no backpacks needed, and we don't allow them for security purposes. But yeah, it's very simple, very self-explanatory how we work and how we function. And like Ms. Collins said, give us a call and just to check out the school, and we'll gladly do that for you.
Yeah, well, thank you, Gustavo. Do you have any like closing thoughts, any words of encouragement? Because I know the pandemic was rough on us parents, it was hard on teachers, and it's probably discouraging for students who may feel like worried that they're behind and they really do want to finish high school, they really do want to get on with their careers or join the military or maybe go to college.
Yeah, just to give us a call, and we'll gladly sit down with them, and we can make it happen. And if you meet us halfway, like I always tell the parents and students, meet us halfway, and we'll meet you guys halfway. It can get done, and it will get done here at Premier High School. Our teachers are here motivated to help students. They care. That's why they're teachers. They're not here for a paycheck. They're here because they care for every student that is in their classrooms. And if you are behind, we'll let you know what the plan is and what the goals are to get you caught up. And if you choose to go to your public school, that means that we did our job here at Premier High School. And if you plan on sticking around here and graduating with us, we're more than happy to have you part of our graduation, which is at the end of the school year. And excited, and we'll give you your diploma, and you can be part of Premier High School.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's great. That's a beautiful message of hope. And I'm really thankful for what you and the teachers at Premier High School San Antonio Ingram are doing for students to give them another chance to earn a diploma and just have a wider range of opportunities for their lives.
Yes, yes, ma'am. Well, thank you very much for having me here, Miss Collin. I do appreciate it. Thanks a lot for always considering Premier High School Ingram.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks so much and have a great weekend.
Thank you. You too. Bye bye.